Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Si. Welcome to Business in a Brew, a podcast dedicated to all things business with the occasional cover.
We take a business story, theory, or something we just want to chat about and give it a dusting of our own special personality and sense of humour, combined with our experience and knowledge. We're both business graduates and have run our own businesses for many years. We can't wait for you to listen. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. I know you're not keen on yogurt drinks, are you?
You haven't made a whole episode about yogurt drinks.
No, this is going to segue. This is going to segue into one of my favourite subjects.
Really?
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Sadly not.
Boats?
No, that's one for the future.
Yes.
Boats, no.
Oh, go on then. Oh, I know what you like. Meat.
Food.
Food.
Yeah. And meat. Yeah. Yeah. This is a good story, but it's one that I think a lot of people have forgotten about it. They carry on with their day-to-day. But a while back, there was a thing that occurred, the CJD scandal and the BSE scandal.
BSE is mad cow disease. Are we allowed to call it that?
Yeah, and I'm going to come to what those initials mean.
Because I lived in the New Forest and you had to wash things like your tyres and your feet and stuff because of the mad cow disease.
Oh, right. And
we had a lot of cattle grids and things.
And also foot and mouth as well.
Yes.
That happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So the CJD scandal wasn't just about mad cows as they became known. It was an eroding of trust at the time, and there were delayed warnings, procrastination, secrecy, all sorts of things going on. Government didn't know what to do.
An erosion of trust in what? Cows?
No, in I'm going to come to
sorry.
this. I'm going to explore this. Otherwise, it's going to be a very short episode.
I won't ask questions. Then you carry on.
No, you ask away.
Okay.
But I'm coming to those.
Yeah.
And also loss of confidence in science as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you have people saying, "I don't believe the scientists because they've all got an agenda." That kind of thing happens.
I do know that.
But the science actually is just honest truth most of the time, and there aren't hidden agendas. People just want to get to the bottom of it. But I think because government got in the way. Anyway, I'm going to come to this. Right. So what we've got to do is kind of look at why this whole crisis became so damaging, what effects and impacts it has on today, how originally BSE spread in cattle, the government's response, and lessons learned, food safety.
I'll write an agenda.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got one. All right. So I'm just going to give you a bit of background, which is BSE, what it is.
Okay.
So it's got a brilliantly beautiful melodic sounding name. Bovine.
Oh man.
Bovine.
Yeah, bovine.
Cow.
Yeah. Thank you.
Spongiform.
Yeah.
Encephalopathy.
Oh, brain swelling.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah. And on spongy form, maybe.
I've heard of encephalitis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. First appeared in UK cattle in 1986, and it was caused by prions.
By what?
Prions.
I don't know what prion is.
Prions.
Well, spelling it doesn't. I don't.
No, all right. I'm just spelling it out.
Okay,
just
thank you.
For listeners as well as you.
So they can Google it.
And they are basically infectious proteins, and they attack the brain and nervous system.
Like syphilis.
Yeah.
Cow syphilis. No. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. But that's an end kind of thing in syphilis, isn't it? It doesn't happen immediately.
I don't know, I just read about it in
goes
books.
into the nerves and then finds its way to that's horrible. So the disease actually spread not cow to cow by transmission, but because of the meat and bone meal that was created by dead cows and fed to live cows.
So now they're
basically
cannibal cows.
used in cattle feed.
I thought they ate grass.
They do. They're herbivores.
So they shouldn't really be eating
No.
each other.
That's the whole thing.
Gross.
And I remember at the time going, are you serious? Is it what?
That's gross. I was only 5 at the time.
So the feed, this is where you're gonna start gipping, I think.
Okay. I'm
Just hold on. Just hold on to yourself, right? The feed often contained brain and spinal cord tissue from slaughtered animals.
Why? Did they think it was nutritious?
Any form of animal protein is going to help an animal put on muscle.
Right.
Yeah. But they're the parts that are most often infected with the prions. I'll come to that in a bit
Parts
more.
that no one else wants to eat.
Yeah. So humans.
Even you wouldn't eat spinal cord.
But the humans, well, they don't want to eat that stuff. Well, of course, now we know why.
Indeed.
Because that then came under another condition that transmitted to humans. Okay. Right. So there's this thing called rendering, basically, which is rendering is
like when you make candles.
Melting it.
Yeah, you render the fat out of it.
Yeah, well, rendered fat is basically what happens when you fry a piece of meat. The fat comes out in the pan, so the fat renders out. What they used to do with whale blubber, render all the blubber down to an oil.
Know some lovely things.
Yeah, I do. We'll have an episode on the whale industry.
No, we shouldn't.
So the rendering process was altered in the late 1970s to save energy, right?
Okay.
Which no longer destroyed the prions when previously it did. And that allowed the infection to pass from animal to animal within the foodstuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cows, being natural herbivores, were being fed recycled remains of other animals, including infected brain and spinal tissue. That's how BSE spreads.
Recycled remains.
Mm-hmm. Sounds awful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's a thing in the food industry to extract as much animal protein as you can from a carcass. Basically, it's washing off anything from the bones or crushing the bones and getting everything you can out of it. And I'm just going to sidestep. I'm kind of a big Anthony Bourdain's one of my favourites.
Yes. You have a man crush.
Favourites. I do, yeah. And he was in a restaurant. Was it in Austria? And he had duck for lunch. So they roasted the duck, took the duck breasts off and sliced those up. And all the remaining carcass bits they put in a thing called a duck press, which is like a very beautiful hopper with duck feet on the bottom and a big corkscrew. And what you do is you put all the duck bits in.
I'm going to need you to stop.
And then, well, whatever comes out the little funnel at the bottom basically goes into a pan and then it's cooked. Yeah. But that's effectively what happens with animals. They get the last bits out of mechanical reclamation. That's it.
Like 10 in the morning, really?
And soz. Right. So there was a government response to this.
Yeah.
So bearing in mind this is 1986.
So we've discovered the cows are eating cows and getting sick.
Correct.
And the government responded to this by?
Yep. The government basically reassured the public saying, British beef is safe.
Well, only the ones that haven't eaten other bits of
Continue
British
eating
beef.
it so we get our tax, basically.
Yeah.
And that was their actual, in quotes, response. British beef is safe. But in 1988, officials banned the use of ruminant protein in cattle feed.
So the ground up stuff from other cattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But enforcement was weak, which is a real key point there. Contained feedstocks that were still used for several years. So basically they said, right, from this point onwards, no more.
But whatever
but
you
all the
stock,
other feed that you had
in
your barns to feed the cattle, well, you had to continue to use it.
Yeah.
And it meant that the infected material, including spinal cord and brain tissue, continued to circulate, prolonging the crisis. I mean, how pathetic is that? The government didn't go, right, yeah, well, hang on, there's going to be a whole load of stock sat there. Let's compensate the farmers so they can go and buy some more.
But that would be really expensive. There's no government that can afford to do that.
Not as expensive as it turned out to be, of course.
Okay, but in the moment when they made that choice, they probably thought this was the cheaper alternative.
Yeah, but what they didn't do is they didn't go and jump straight into an inquiry on it. Okay, so by 1996, this is 10 years forward.
Yep.
Evidence linked to BSE in cattle. Basically, the link was to what's called variant CJD or VCJD, crossed over into humans.
Mm.
But of course, that had been happening all that time. So it wasn't all of a sudden in 1996, bang.
Yeah.
Evidence was coming through that people were actually turning a bit, I don't want to say loopy, but loopy.
Fair.
But affected or infected. And CJD is Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Basically named after the person that discovered it. It caused public panic and basically international bans on
That's why I
British
don't eat beef. It's not the reason I don't eat it. I don't like the taste.
Oh, okay.
But I don't eat beef.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Don't want to be a mad cow. Any more
Too
so
late.
than I already am.
Too late.
Yeah, funny.
So the BSE inquiry then, because it had found its way into human beings,
Mm-hmm.
between 1997 to the year 2000, concluded that the government had prioritised economic interests over public safety and failed to communicate honestly with the public.
Standard.
Standard.
Yeah.
And people, the government wonders why we're tired
Dubious
and sick
about
and
what
tired.
they say. Yeah.
Exactly. So just in short, so even after the feed ban, disease kept spreading because contaminated feed was still in circulation, and partly because officials were more focused on reassurance than real prevention.
Plus the meat would have already been in the food chain.
Absolutely,
Supermarket
and
chain.
probably a
Operational
certain
chain,
amount of
maybe
it
call it.
still in burgers that was possibly sat in
Frozen and all the rest
freezers,
of it,
and all of that. It went on for years. So if you kind of consider all of the ethical and political dimensions, because we are kind of crossing over into that, was it right to downplay the risk to avoid panic?
I mean...
Or should it never really have got to that stage?
Well, it should never really have got to that stage. But if you don't know what the dangers are going to be, and it's a cheap source of providing your cattle with protein...
Yeah.
Which they're not going to get from grass anyway.
Actually, and the thing is, you and I both know now, looking at this, but who would have known? Who would have known that? With
Well, you would just
a cow's been fed to cows. Yeah, it's not right because they're herbivores. But
I don't think they even looked at that bit.
No, but people didn't know about this until
it's cannibalism.
Yeah,
you don't eat your own species.
No,
we'd go mad if we ate our own species.
There's a reason why not.
Yeah, because it's illegal.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's like incest. So
it's nothing like that.
Well, just things you don't do within your own species.
Fair enough. There's a lot of those. A long list.
Yes. So there's a transparency issue there, and then there's an accountability issue because the science gave the warnings, but the politics failed to act or hesitate.
I just don't think they saw what the problem was, really.
So you're almost sounding supportive.
I just think hindsight is a wonderful thing. You've got a lot of information now, but at the time they would have been drip-fed the information. I don't think they would have seen how big the problem was.
Well, it's actually interesting you say that, drip-fed. Yeah, because science doesn't tend to... Well, drip-fed cows, reporting on cows, that's all right, leave it. It's not happened to humans yet.
They didn't know it would transfer to humans either.
No, they didn't, and it's...
I mean, the cows are going a bit crazy, but
Says you who doesn't eat beef.
Well, yes, I'm
but
safe.
It actually happened in sheep as well. They got a thing
Don't eat lamb either. Yeah. I don't eat chicken. Did it happen in chickens? Can you have mad chicken disease?
They're still feeding chicken to chicken. There's chicken to chicken action going
Chicken
on.
will eat anything, won't they?
Yes, they will.
The pigs will eat anything too.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, although they're not allowed to
They
anymore.
eat people,
off
don't
the back
they?
of this, I think given enough
if you
pigs,
chucked a dead body into a bunch of pigs,
and bits of human, they will do that.
But then so would cats.
What we should have done here is given a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode, and we didn't. So
fair enough. We apologise.
Retrospective trigger warning in case you're eating your breakfast. So where am I? I've lost my. So the industry, the farming industry, kind of rightly was put ahead of public safety because, of course, without the farms, you kind of don't have the feed. And without the farms, you don't have the feed to feed other animals, to have the feed for the humans.
Yeah.
But as a protection of the farming industry, which I wholly approve of, but farmers would only do what they were advised to do by the government as well. So they can't make that decision by themselves without some form of assistance. But overall, it's this public trust thing. But confidence in government and science has been affected. So anyway,
infected. That's funny.
So there's some repercussions. Of course, the media kind of made a lot of it.
I mean, the fact they called it mad cow disease.
I know,
That's
exactly.
so sensationalised.
Exactly. Yeah, but it says they first echoed the government's reassurance. So, everything's all right. Yeah,
but how would they know any different?
Yeah, I know. And then turned sharply critical after the 1996.
Funny that,
yeah. But sensational headlines like "Mad Cow Disease," "Oh, we next," amplified the fear and exposed failures in communication. So there wasn't exactly a coordinated and connected effort. It was knee jerk.
Yes.
As it usually is.
Yeah.
But although the media spread panic in that instance, but it also forced the government to be more transparent. Okay, so kind of sitting alongside the government, and then actually, some editors really did get a bit shirty about it and decided to make a thing of it.
Shirty.
Yeah, I won't go into which ones, but. The scientific and public health legacy. Now, you'd think that lessons would be learned, and that's what they always say. Whenever anything goes wrong, lessons will be learned. They created the Food Standards Agency, the FSA.
Oh, I didn't realise that was after that.
And that was to ensure independent oversight. So basically, an ombudsman, kind of
a scientifically backed one.
Yeah. With stricter bans on feeding animals, remains
of animals.
To livestock. Yeah. Ongoing monitoring of prion diseases in cattle and humans. And if you go to, if you ever want to take a trip to a slaughterhouse,
I do not.
Yeah, you sure?
I'm positive. Okay, I'm 100% positive.
But if you do, what they do is there's certain checks that the vets have to. They have a vet on site, and the vet has to go and check certain organs within the animal. And of course, they brain matter and spinal cord don't.
I hope your next episode's a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah,
we can nap after this.
But it's monitoring of prion disease in cattle and in human beings, so they're very quick to jump on that. Okay, but it became a global case study in precautionary health policy. So, did that then cross over into other countries? Really? Did they see that as a leading light?
Did they ever have BSE?
Well, that's a good question, because I didn't explore it beyond the UK, because I wasn't really interested in the UK side and the UK's response. I think as meat producers around the world, their reputation is built off the back of that. If you think what happened with our
because like New Zealand lamb became massive.
Yeah. It basically changed. It basically changed how we think of food and food safety and government responsibility forever from that point onwards is basically the outcome of it. However, roll forward to June last year.
2024.
And according to trading standards, there is absolute chaos in food security, which presents a high risk to consumers.
Chaos in food security.
What's wrong with that?
I don't even know what that means.
Chaos, absolute chaos
in food security.
Yeah. Food security, basically, the food that's coming into the country or the food that we're producing.
Oh, okay.
How safe is it?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
And safety implying what is being done to make sure it's safe. Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. Well, between 2000 and today. I can't remember when the horse meat scandal was, when it seems everyone was jumping on the old, doesn't matter where the protein comes from, it goes into burgers and meatballs.
Yeah.
Several big names were caught up in that. Where, we didn't realise there was horse meat in there. So
That's a bit concerning. You don't know what's in your own meatball.
No, because no one kind of checked back the whole provenance and supply chain is what happened, and the supply chain was kind of partially corrupt as well. This was, so I've missed out that this episode would be too long if I were to go and explore all the problems that have gone on. But Chris Elliott is from Queen's University in Belfast and Professor of Food Safety and Microbiology. And he authored the Government Commission report in the horse meat scandal back in 2013. And that's where that absolute chaos came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this guy's got some credibility. Basically, he's been calling the trading standards cuts. There are cuts to trading standards resources. Calls them scandalous because they're going to lead to food safety.
He likes a bit of incendiary language, doesn't
Well, do you know? I think you've got to be incendiary if your responsibility is, is to try and ensure food safety. You're a respected member of the scientific community. You're trying to save people's lives.
Well, that's true.
And also the reputation of our beef and meat industry, if you like. But what's happened is there's been regulatory divergence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the mime. No one else can see the mime except me.
Surprisingly, post-Brexit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disruption to global supply chains caused by the war in Ukraine, climate crisis, and the rise in online food retail basically created a challenging environment for businesses and an increasingly risky state of play for consumers. And this is all from the Trading Standards article. And what Professor Elliott has said is really pointing that the cutbacks in trading standards are actually a major issue. And what his comment was, even though we're under a new government, he said for the past 14 years, Conservative government has basically said, it's a free market, don't worry about it because the food industry will take care of everything. That's a very, very powerful lobbying group, is the food industry. Mm-hmm. And the food industry is what's allowed for excessive salt, excessive sugar, fat, the rest of it to become normalised, highly processed food to become normalised, and basically a whole load. We know the kind of problems that be going on. And basically, they're saying, don't worry if we import more because imports are cheaper. So there's been basically no policy whatsoever. So what has come out of this is that basically we're just waiting for the next one to come along, the next crisis to come along. And to kind of wrap it up, because I know we're getting near time here, there's often this short-term memory thing going on. There's a lot of people around who won't remember CJD and BSE. It doesn't affect them anymore. Hasn't affected people raisers. That's because of what was implemented. But this lack of trust in science is a concern. Lack of trust in government is kind of obvious.
It's been around for years.
Forever.
Yeah.
But we kind of have to trust the science a little more and understand these scientists dedicate their entire lives to
not
their
for nefarious
scientific speciality. Yeah. And they're not all Dr. Mengele.
Quite the comparison.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Well,
people, see evil people in white jackets concocting disgusting poisons and fabricating... what?
Yes, I agree with you.
Science can be used for good as well as evil. Yeah.
So can the power of manipulation.
Quite. I'm not trying to manipulate anyone here, just by the way. Yeah. So it's just a salutary tale of what can happen when trust breaks down, and people have unfortunately had their trust shaken repeatedly over the years. So it's just a matter of more transparency needed, really.
But you would never go without meat, would you?
No, but I'm much more careful about where it comes from. like Tesco, Sainsbury's, whatever. No, but I want to know where it comes from. I don't buy anything that maybe it come from outside the UK. I want to know that it's UK.
And it's got provenance.
Yeah.
Provenance?
It's got provenance, that can be traced.
So we should all buy a homestead and have our own cow.
You know that's not what I'm saying. I don't have room in my flat.
For a cow?
For a cow.
Even a mad one?
Most definitely not.
Fair enough.
Right, okay. Thanks for listening to that one.
I don't even know what to say. Thanks.
Let's leave it at that.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for supporting us by downloading and listening to this episode.
And a massive thank you also to Donnie, Emily, Nat and Lewis and the BTD Studios for all your expertise in bringing our podcasting dream to reality.
We'd love it if you commented on this episode, as we'd really like to know what you think and what you might like us to cover in future episodes.
And we'll see you on the next one.